people. So that you said that they put millions of my house. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mass shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put millions of my house. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow.
All right. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Yahabashim Yashai Brakatham, Yahushua Malatab Bashim Yashai's priest and Master Shah, but the Isupk, so the 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command and General Yohana. Been teaching the truth since 1969, and today is a Tuesday night Brotherhood class. Every single Tuesday, we broadcast live out here in Orlando, Florida. So if you're in the Central Florida area, make sure you stop on by at the Hart Memorial Library. That's 211 East Dakin Avenue every single Tuesday from 7 to 8 or 7 to 9, either or. And make sure you just contact the number on the for the school, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you get in tune and stop on by, get all your questions answered, man. So anybody new in the class that's looking to get the Hebrew name, all right, the sign-in link is in the YouTube chat. All right, also looking to join the live, have the link available for you in the YouTube chat as well. All right. All right, let me know if y'all can hear me just fine. I don't think I got anybody on here yet. All right, if you got any questions, feel free to type it into the chat. I'll be able to answer the questions. If not, man, we'll jump into the topic of today. All right, so I want to dive into the topic of economics, right? Generating wealth within our own community, right? I know amongst any major city or within those cities, the communities that we reside in, where money is a issue, right? You know what I'm saying? So what we have to understand, there is a main importance to understanding economics. Right? There's one main tool that we need amongst us within our community in order to increase economics within our community, right? Or at least develop a system that can increase the wealth for our sons and daughters to have, all right, once they get older, and we can pass down to generation to generation, all right? Hey, Shalom, Yabashakta.
Yo, Bashim Yashai Brakatham.
Good to have you on, Warrior, Most High in Christ. My joint is lagging.
Like you. Before you get your topic, I got a question, sir.
All right. Give me 1 second, Warrior. You can still hear me?
Come, copy.
All right, you got it, Warrior.
Like, hold on, I'm pulling it up right now.
All right.
I had a question on Isaiah 14:1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, hold on. So this the book of Isaiah, chapter 14:1. What I wanted to know was, because it say, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel." What I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know was what it mean have have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel, like, cause Jacob his, he changed his name to Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not understanding like why it was added like twice basically. That's
Okay. Let's go ahead and go through it and I'll break it down.
come. This the book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1. For the
Mm-hmm.
Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
All right, Jacob, like you mentioned, right? Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? He comes from the seed of Isaac, which comes from Abraham. So that's the chosen bloodline that the Lord chose as his chosen, as his people that belong to him. And Jacob, being from that bloodline, his name was later changed in the Bible to Israel, right? And Israel, right, birthed 12 sons, and those 12 sons grew into what we know as the 12 tribes of Israel, right? The entire nation descends from this man, right? So the Lord is saying that he will have mercy on these 12 tribes, the chosen people of God, right? The main thing that we must understand is who are these people today, right? You have a great conflict that's going on right now on the earth in the Middle East, where a people on the land of Israel committing a whole slew of genocide because they feel that they are the chosen people of God. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they have the right to expel whoever they need to expel off of that land because they think that land rightfully belongs to them because they think that they are the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Well, we went through this in many classes. You know what I'm saying? You can comb through the channel and get a slew of scriptures, you know what I'm saying, that points out who we are. You can go to Deuteronomy 28:68. You can go to Jeremiah 14:2, right? All these scriptures will point to who these people are today. And according to the Bible, the 12 tribes of Israel are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, right? This is who they are today, right? You know what I'm saying? This is who they descend from. Shalom. How about Shem What's going on with it? Right?
Hey, I'm still Yabashim Shamar.
And right. So out of all the people on the earth, man, it is no, if you could mute your phone, young man Lou, it's no mistake that we are the people that need help the most, that we need salvation. I mean, the conditions that we in, we the ones that really need mercy, right? Everybody is crying out over what's going on in the Middle East and what's happening to the Palestinians and the ethnic cleansing that's going on in that region of the world. But yet, there's a day that's about to come up on this week that everybody's getting ready to celebrate. And that day glorifies the genocide of God's chosen people, the Native Indians, right? There's a double standard on this earth, right? Everybody's willing to cry for the Palestinians, but nobody's willing to cry for the Native Indians. They made a whole day to celebrate their death, and we partake in it, right? It's tradition. We come around, we eat the turkey, we slurp on the gravy and eat the chicken bone and eat the macaroni, and you all say you giving thanks. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the people that were slaughtered on that day, or who that day was supposed to represent the downfall of, right, are living in oppression today, right? They're living in reservations, dying of alcoholism, right? They have the number one missing children's rate in America, right? The Native Indians. But though nobody is concerned with trying to give mercy unto them or trying to give salvation unto them, right? But God does care. You know why? Because Native Indians are the chosen people of God. And at the end of all this conflict that's going on and all this outcry and protest, God is only going to save so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and not everybody on this earth. All right, read on.
Come on. And will yet choose Israel.
Yet choose who?
Israel.
Right, like we just broke down. Jacob is who? Who is Jacob?
The father of the 12 tribes.
Right, he is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob's name was later changed to what in the Bible?
To Israel.
To Israel, right? So what the Bible is doing is just emphasizing who God's chosen people are, right? Like you got to think about it like this: like the Bible is a black book. You get what I'm saying? So when we read it, we have to read it in the mindset of a black man that wrote it, right? Though our oppressor, he'll take this book and he'll try to make everything literal in the Bible. Or he will try to add some extra spookism in it or mysticize it to make himself seem great when he reads it. You get what I'm saying? And many pastors do that too. They'll read something in the Bible and they'll mysticize it and they'll make it seem like, that's a revelation they got from God, right? When the Bible is just giving you poetic talk, right? It's giving you how a black man speaks. You know what I'm saying? Because this is who wrote the Bible. Right? So when it mentions Jacob and Israel, it's just emphasizing on that point that the Lord will have mercy on his chosen, right? And he also still remains those people as his chosen, which is Israel, right? There is no confusion of who God chosen people is or who salvation is for, right? Because he reiterated it twice in the same verse. Right? Jacob is Israel, Israel is Jacob. They're both synonymous with each other. And it's both talking about the same point that these 12 tribes, the descendants of Israel, right, are the people that need salvation on this earth. Right? Read on.
Come on. And set them in their own land.
And set them in their own land. $1 million question. Can anybody answer me this? Right? I know we haven't been doing the questionnaire, the pop quiz joint, but if anybody can answer me this, I'll give them. Let's see. I'm sure somebody will probably get it. Look, but you got it already, Lou. You know what I'm gonna ask? You already know what I'm gonna ask, huh?
Go ahead. You go ahead. I don't want.
Okay, Kyle. Listen, I ask this all the time. All the time. Can anybody tell me who black people were prior to slavery? Anybody? Now, I'm sure everybody here who's familiar with the teachings and familiar with the class can probably answer that, but if there's anybody that's new, I don't know. I'm sure we don't usually get, Lord allowed, but for the most part, everybody that's on here is the same people that's on every Tuesday. But if somebody can answer me this, who black people were prior to slavery, meaning before we came over here on slave ships, what land did we belong to? What language did we speak? And what was our identity? Do anybody know? All right. It seems like just a common question, right? It should be, something that's commonly known amongst black people. Am I right or wrong? Right?
Oh God.
Like now when we ask it in regards to us, that's when it becomes an anomaly. It becomes a confusion because there's not one pinpoint answer as to who we are, right? But yet, if I ask anybody on here if they can tell me who Alexander the Greek is, I'm sure everybody can answer me that, right? Most people know who that is, right? Alexander the Greek. the great conqueror of Greece, right? Julius Caesar. How many of y'all ever heard of him?
Heard of him, sir.
You heard of him, right?
Um,
Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, all these great, right, that existed thousands of years ago, right? We are commonly taught about them in our school system, right? And these people existed thousands of years ago, and none of them identify as black, but yet we're still not taught about them. You know what I'm saying? And we're still given the history about them. But when it comes to black people and our prominent figures that date back to 1,000 years ago, can nobody pinpoint who they are. Nobody know the history of who we were or who our great conquerors were thousands of years ago, or what land did we belong to, what language did we speak. I should tell you something, that this Bible is only talking about one specific people, and that's so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous people. Right? You gonna say something, Johnny?
Come.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say how the oppressor is so wicked, cause he said, well, I don't know if he said, but our people, we don't know who he was before slavery, and we should, as a whole nation, we should try to see and like find out, because no other nation was birthed 400 years ago. If they say, because that's where they start our history at, slavery.
Right.
So if they start our history at slavery, that must mean we was birthed during slavery, while
Right.
while the other nations was on Earth for years, thousands of years before us. So we should ask ourselves, like, who were we, and try to
Right.
find out our identities. Like it, sir.
Nah, you 100% right, warrior. 100% right. You wanted to say something as well, Lou?
Like, sir, I was just thinking, uh, just well, yesterday. I was just thinking yesterday, and I think it was when I had my first job straight when I came out of school. I was working this removals company, but it was more like Hamites that were working the how can I say the job. So eventually they ended up in a discussion about where colored people come from, like black people, and they were like because there is no history of us. So they said, nah, we weren't created by God, but we were created by Satan because,
Damn.
what was it? Because there's no history of us prior 400 years.
Right.
So, and yeah, it ended up in a like big squabble, and but
Oh
yeah,
man.
that's actually because I was thinking in my head a proverb in the Bible, and then that came to my mind because of what they said before. So I was like, and it just falls into what young man Jaim was just saying now.
God. If I could add to what you're saying, man, because it's heavy what you're saying, Lou. If I'm not mistaken, there's a whole religious belief behind that thought, that black people are the children of Satan and they're demons. That's why our skin is black, and white people are from God, right? I think the religion is called Mormons, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Kind of.
They got a whole belief behind that dark skin is evil. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's very, very unfortunate for us as a people. And let me make this disclaimer as well, too. This is no fault of ours as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is no fault of ours, right? We are in the state of captivity. We are in the land of captivity, right? This is not our home. This is not our birthplace. This is not where we belong. We're not speaking a language that we're supposed to be speaking, right? Everything that we do, we are adapting to it through slavery. Our language, our culture, our identity, everything comes from slavery, right? What we have to do is draw back before that point, before we became slaves, right? And we'll find out that all of it points towards us being the real Jews, being the 12 tribes of Israel, that land that they're fighting over belongs to us. That's what it will come down to. If we sat down and really looked through the history of so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, everything will point towards there. Everything will. I mean, there's all type of evidence, not only biblical evidence, which is the greatest evidence that we need to prove this, right? But there's also archaeological evidence. You know what I'm saying? There's all type of evidence that points towards who we are. Shalom, Yahweh Shabbat. What's going on with it?
Hey, Shalom, yeah, Bashim Shabrak Thumb.
Yeah,
My
but
Christ.
Yeah, but some shit down.
Right. You know what I mean? This is who we are, right? If I could read some of these comments, it said, Trooper Mashah said, we were in Israel, our land, we are Israelites. Damn right. It says, we were Hebrew Israelites who left our land, Israel, to go hide or blend among the Africans. You exactly on it. After Azizab said, the Mormon, yes, the Mormon religion. Yep. Mormons teach that brown skin, black skin is of the devil. And I think they even got like videos of it where if you want to be saved, you have to get rid of your black brown skin. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a whole belief, right? And I guarantee you they're not listed on the Southern Poverty Law Center list of hate groups. I can guarantee it. Maybe they are. I don't know. Somebody can fact check that for me. But I doubt that the Mormons are listed on that list, right? Itazar says they teach that Satan and his angels were cursed with black skin and banished to earth. Damn. I mean, you know what that does for a people? I don't understand, like, if I may, like, psychologically, like, what that does to us. Like, that breaks us down more than physical chattel slavery, right? The mental slavery, if you could, Louis, you can mute your phone. Louis, you can mute your phone. Yeah, throw out of it. But yeah, that does a lot to us psychologically, right? Like, think about it. What empowers a race? Can anybody answer me that? I don't want to be too long-winded on this question, but
Salakia.
I think there's a good talking point. Somebody said Salakia.
Con.
Go ahead.
A culture.
Give the brother a hand. Culture is what empowers a race, right? Right? And the way that they do, or the way every nation does to drive their culture, they put a deity, which is a god, at the forefront of that culture to empower their people to be more involved with their identity. You get what I'm saying? They feel more empowered to be more involved with their culture. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Con.
Right? So every culture understands, like, listen, within our culture, we need to create a system that empowers them. So why not make a god that looks just like them to empower them to be more involved within their culture? Well, guess what? For us as Black people, how do you expect us to be empowered when we worship a God that looks nothing like us? Right? It's easy to point the blame at Black people as if, we're the problem. We're just violent criminals. We're uncivilized. We have no decorum about ourselves, no manners, and all of that stuff. Well, guess what? The reason why we're in the streets living or surviving at that, or with chaos, is because we haven't given a culture or an identity to empower us to do better. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Con.
It breaks down your self-esteem when you're being taught that your brown skin comes from the devil that fell from heaven. Like, you know what I'm saying? It breaks you down psychologically. It breaks you down when you don't know who you are prior to slavery. You never will feel empowered to want to make a change within your community. You'll never feel empowered because all you'll see is some nigga that fell from heaven because his skin is black and he's cursed by God. You know what I'm saying? All you'll see is some slave that only work on the cotton field, you know what I'm saying, and that's all he good for. That's all you'll ever see. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's time that we understand how to get out of this condition, right? We need to do things within our culture. And the only thing that's going to empower us in our culture is following a God that looks just like us. Following a God that has laws that caters to us, that caters to our spirit and who we are. You know what I'm saying? And that is the nigga God, right? The black can't even say that no more, right? Listen, Isupk, if you can find me the Hebrew word of nigga, I'm pretty. Is there? that'd be a good one if we could get something like that. Hebrew word for nigga, but we need to follow the black God. You know what I'm saying? So, somebody says Salakia.
La, sir.
Okay. You could continue to read on Giant.
Come. And the stranger shall be joined with them,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Right. So the house of Jacob is talking about who?
Israel.
Israel, right? Israel is synonymous with Jacob. Jacob is interchangeable with Israel, right? So when it mentions it in both of them in the same verse, it's talking about the same people. It's just emphasizing or reiterating the point of who God's chosen people is and who salvation is for. You know what I'm saying? I think we got the Hebrew word. What is that? Shoot, I need glasses. God damn.
Let's say Shaka.
Shakawar, black. Shakawarium. Shout out to all my Shakawarium. You know what I mean? I guess. Listen, we'll use it. You know what I mean? Damn right. But did I answer your question? You know what I mean, Jaheem?
Come, the water.
All right, most high in Christ word. All right. If there's any other questions, feel free to ask. Other than that, man, we'll dive into the topic. Remember, make sure y'all tune in every Monday on the scripture breakdown class. Also, Kazak Kamar does a hell of a job every single Monday breaking down these scriptures. It is a mandatory class for everybody that's in Florida. All right? It's a mandatory class. It's the only way you're going to learn who you are, right? Is by breaking down your history. Right here. This right here. This book right here is your history. But you need it to be broken down to you. Right? Because somebody took this same book that was supposed to be your history and made it out to be a religion. You know what I'm saying? That's why we rather identify ourselves with being a Christian more than being an Israelite. Right? Ask any black person of who they are, who you come from. Oh, I'm just a Christian. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times I've been told that? You know what I'm saying? That is sad. That's very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? But the only way you're going to learn who you truly are if you come to these classes. So make sure every Monday you join in. All right, y'all? All right, I'm going to dive into the topic, man. We're going to talk about money. Money. The almighty dollar. Right? This is something that people kill for, steal for, die for, lie for, whore for, whatever the case may be, right? People will do whatever it takes to get to that almighty dollar. All right? So let's talk about economics, right? First, I want to get if somebody can grab me for the love of money is the root of all evil. Baba Kasha.
Come.
Now money, all right? Yo, I'm sure everybody, most of us, understands the at least the lack thereof, or even the excessiveness of it as well. Either or, whatever side you're on, you know You know what I mean? Understand that money rules the earth. That's what it is. This is what people kill, steal, and do everything for. All right? You gotta understand. There is rules to building economics, but it's not more important than morality, right? You got that verse for me?
Con.
All right, you got it. You
You want
got
me
it. Word.
up or go straight to it? So like,
You can go straight to it.
Con. This is the book of First Timothy, chapter 6, verse 10. For the love
Hold
of is
on real quick.
all evil.
My bad, James. Real quick, my bad. Let me get it. You said First Timothy
6, chapter 6, verse 10.
6, verse 10. All right, you got it, word.
Con. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Read that one more time.
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
For the love of money is the root of all evil. Right? What is the key word that we should take from this verse?
Sluggish, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Love.
The word love. Right? Love is the key word to take from this. Right? Now, for the love of it, most people would do what for it? Now, use the context that's in this verse. Mm-hmm. Evil. Right? The Bible is not saying simply having a means to support yourself or simply having a means to sustain yourself is evil, right? But the love of it is the root of all evil, right? The greed that comes with it, the envy, the jealousy, the want of it is the root of all evil, right? And your oppressor understands that. He understands that in order to keep black people at a low state, right? He understands he has to impact us economically as well too. Because at one point, black people, we had a self-sustaining economic system within our community. We understood how to circulate the dollar within our community, right? Places like Rosewood, places like Harlem. The first millionaire in America. Can anybody answer me this? Oh, I think we got another question. Hold on. The sister asked, Salaki sir, can you explain? Said, can you explain when a sister is on her flower and what she can and cannot do, especially cooking for the school and serving food during events? Khan, if somebody can grab the law about Kasha that speaks about that, right? The question that the sister asking is talking about the monthly cycle that women go through, right? That is, I don't know how vulgar this is, but as commonly known as your period, right? I'm not trying to be offensive, but you know that's what most people know it as, right? Now, within our culture, right? Because we are the most sanitary, the most righteous people on the earth. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord made it where within our culture that there is ways to go about when a woman is on her cycle, right? Somebody got that verse for me? If we can pull it up in the law about the show. Where it talks about being unclean.
This verse, you don't talk about it being. You hear what I got, sister? Like,
Yeah, Kyle, what you got, word?
Leviticus 20 and 18, and
Mm-hmm.
inshallah,
You said
Leviticus.
Leviticus 20 and 18, right? So let's give everybody time to get that real quick.
Oh,
Leviticus 20 and 18.
Sluggish, sir.
Con, what you got, Ward?
Leviticus 15 and 19.
You got 15 and 19. I'm gonna see. Let me see what Jaheim got real quick, and then we're gonna go to 15 and
like
19. Mm-hmm.
what I got is with a man lying with her on her cycle.
Okay, that's part of the law too. So let's go ahead and read that as well. You got
So
it.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall cover her nakedness. He have discovered her fountain, and
Mm-hmm.
covered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
You're gonna be looked at as a stranger, right? Because this is not something that we do within our culture, right? A man that sleeps with a woman while she's on a period is somebody that we ostracize. You know what I mean? Don't look as one of us, right? Because within our culture, right, we have ways of making sure that we keep ourselves sanitized. You know what I'm saying? We keep ourselves what's considered clean. Now, a woman having her cycle is natural, right? This is something that the Lord implemented within women to have each month. You get what I'm saying? So it's not a sin that a woman is on her cycle, right? But there is ways to go about it. She is not to be, as accessible when she's not on her cycle. You get what I'm saying? This is a period where she's to be separated, or a period where she's, not mingled with the congregation or with everybody, you know what I'm saying, until her cycle passed, right? And the Bible's talking about when she's on that time frame of being in her cycle, a man is not supposed to be what they call running the red light. You get what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be laying down with it. Yeah, he laughing. You heard about that, dude. I know you heard about that one. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I done heard about that too. You know what I'm saying? You don't run the red lights. You know what I'm saying? If she's on her cycle, she is considered unclean. Now, what does unclean mean? Like I just mentioned, right? Unclean is simply just in the name in that, right? You're unclean. Right? It's not a sin, right? It's just for sanitary purposes, right? You cannot be around. Now, of course, in olden days, you know what I'm saying, they didn't have the proper what I say proper products that made sure that blood was not everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But still and yet, right? The Lord implement that, and we have to abide by that till this day. You get what I'm saying? So that's one of the rules right there. That's one of the rules, that when she's on her cycle, she should not be sleeping with her man. Right? Any more on that?
Law, sir.
All right. All right. What you got? Yeah, man, Lou.
I got the book of Leviticus. I don't want 15, chapter 15, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
And if a woman have a issue, and a issue in her flesh be blood,
Right. The
she
issue
shall
of
be put
blood.
upon.
If I could just pause you there real quick, just to so give everybody can understand what we're talking about, right? Now we know this is written in olden times, but this issue blood is simply talking about her period, right? Her monthly cycle, right? Read on.
Kan. She shall be put apart 7 days,
Mm-hmm.
and whoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening.
Right. So this same woman who's in her cycle, right? She's going to be unclean for 7 days, right? She's considered unclean for sanitary purposes, right? There's no reason why she should be around everybody while things are flying all over the place, right? It's not, it's not our culture. We're clean people. You get what I'm saying? Right, this is time to herself to get through this, the cramps and the stomach aches and all of that stuff and get through that. And then she comes back around. You get what I'm saying? That's all it is, right? Now, it comes to the point where when it comes to the work of the Lord, right? Now, when it comes to like cookouts, certain stuff that doesn't involve actual, the priestly duties, you know what I'm saying? Like it's acceptable for her to do it. Right now, stuff like coming into the school for class or high holy days or the Sabbath services, right? She's prohibited to come into the school or to be around a congregation. You know what I'm saying? Because that's part of the priestly, duties. Y'all get what I'm saying? If y'all get what I'm saying, right? Like stuff that pertains to what we do as priests, right? She can't come around during class. She can't come around during high holy days. She can't come around during Sabbath service, right? Because she's considered unclean. Now, anybody that gets around her and touches her, they're going to be considered unclean as well, right? If somebody can look this up, Baba Kasha, right? So y'all don't think this is, spookism and crazy. If somebody can look up how long does bacteria live on a surface? Somebody can look that up, right? Now, this is something that we should have a great sense of information of, being that we went through a whole pandemic on this earth, right? We went through a whole pandemic. Somebody says, Lucky.
Oh, I was saying, I got it, sir.
All right, what you got, Ward?
It say many of the germs that live on dry surfaces can live for a very long time, days and weeks.
Days and weeks, right? It can live on that surface, right? So you want to give yourself at least 7 days for those bacteria to die out. You get what I'm saying? Those are living organisms, right? You can't actually see them through the naked eye, right? But there is all type of bacteria all around you, all around you. You get what I'm saying? And to make sure that stuff don't spread amongst the congregation, right? The Bible has laws that talks about being clean and being unclean, right? Wash yourself off. Give yourself 7 days. When you go to a funeral, you're supposed to wash. Give yourself 7 days. When she's on a cycle, you're supposed to give yourself 7 days. When a man bleeds too, when he cuts himself, right? He's supposed to be unclean. He's considered unclean, right? Or when a man ejaculates, right? I don't know if that's too harsh neither. I'm still learning the terminologies of the internet, but right, when a man has seed come out, whatever, he's considered unclean, right? Now being unclean itself is not a sin. What makes it a sin is, if somebody can answer to me this, what makes it a sin? When does it become a sin? Go ahead.
When it's another man's wife, or slightly when you
talking about being unclean,
when you don't come, it's when you don't wash yourself and go maybe go to the Sabbath service.
Right. Get a brother in hand. You know what I'm saying? That's when, like the scripture said, you'll be cut off from amongst the people. Right? When you don't take a bath, right, and you come around the congregation. Right? Because what you're doing, you're being inconsiderate and you're being real negligent. You know what I mean? You're not considering the fact that you can cause people to be sick. You get what I'm saying? And this is something that was on high alert during the whole pandemic, right? When the whole pandemic, this is something that I understood, like, the General Muhammad wrote this down, like, it made perfect sense. This is the reason behind clean and unclean. It's not spookism. It don't make you, float in the sky. It's to make sure that we keep ourselves sanitary, right? So that way the priest can do the work of the Lord, all right? Somebody was going to say something?
So I was gonna say,
Mm-hmm.
and thing that I read, it said it spread through touch.
Oh, what did it say on there?
The germs they spread through touch. It say pathways of spread include touch. So like if you touch like a dry surface that got germs on it, you touch somebody else, that's how it's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's how it happens, right? Through touch. That's how germs spread, right? Somebody sneeze on their hand, they go to shake your hand. Guess what? The germs that came out of their mouths and their nose when they sneeze, guess what's going to be transferred onto your hand now? That's how it's just biology 101. It's just, science is in the Bible. There you have it. You know what I mean? Everybody think the Bible is some mythical book where there's science in the Bible. And they knew about this thousands of years ago. Before Moses had a telescope or microscope, right? He knew that there was little micro living organisms that exist, right? That passes through people, right? When you're sick and stuff like that. So they made sure that they implemented laws to make sure we don't have things like, you know, COVID-19 within Israel, or we don't have things like the Black Plague within Israel. All right. Continue on, young man Lou. I see Isaac put a question real quick. If you could continue, I'm gonna answer your question, Isaac.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 20. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean.
Mm-hmm.
Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
Why is that? Why is that?
Slug, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
because when she sitteth, it's like where they might wherever she sit might be some blood or traces of the blood, so it would be considered unclean.
Be considered unclean, right? Now, of course, like I mentioned, was written thousands of years ago, right? Now that doesn't make it non-avoid, right? But I just want to mention this, right? They didn't have the same uh female hygiene products that they have today. You get what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like, the same advanced products that they have today, right? So there is a possibility why they going to sit down, boom. You know what I mean? This blood on the seat. You know what I mean? She go to lay on the bed, there's blood on the bed. You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, you all over the crib. There's blood everywhere. You get what I'm saying? Now it's a natural cycle, right? This is something that she should, you know, embrace in womanhood. You know what I mean? This is part of who she is within her nature. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is not trying to, look down on you because it happens. He's just trying to make sure that nothing spreads amongst Israel. All right. So she can't sit in the chair in the high holy day. She can't sit in the chair in the classroom. Right. She can't do none of these stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because she is unclean. And when the next person that touches that item, they are unclean as well too. Right. So just to be on the safe side, the Lord asks that the woman quarantine herself for 7 days. Right. And the person that touches her quarantine themselves at least 1 day. So that can give time for what?
Like
Go ahead.
wash the germs off.
There you go. For bacteria to go away. Right. Continue on, Lou.
Come out of one come. Verse 21. And whosoever toucheth her bed toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes
Mm-hmm.
and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening.
Mm-hmm. You'll take a bath. You know what I mean? This is how you know this is a black book. We take baths in Israel. You know what I'm saying? So what she'll do, she'll shower. The person that touches her or touches the items that she touched will take a shower as well. So that way those germs can be washed away, and you give a period of time for that bacteria to die out as well too. It's science. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Now in 2023, how can we relate to this in 2023? Now, if a woman needs to cook for her husband while she's in her cycle, you know, you can do it. Do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? We're still rehearsing the righteous acts of today. You know what I'm saying? Now, back then, she had to sleep in a whole separate bed, a whole separate room. Some of us don't have that accessibility, right? We don't have a whole separate room that our woman can just chill in during the cycle. You know what I'm saying? Some of us don't even have a whole separate bed that she can lay on during the cycle, right? Which is understandable, right? The
Lucky.
spirit. Somebody said Salaki.
Come on, sir. No,
If I
go
could
ahead, sir.
just
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, this it's all good, priest. I do want you to add in too as well. I just want to finish the point of saying the whole purpose behind it is that germs don't get spread. That's the spirit behind it. You know what I'm saying? But now today she has the better equipment to make sure she's well protected today. You know what I'm saying? So she can cook, she can sit, she can do that. Just make sure she's not doing that in the school, in the temple. You get what I'm saying? Making sure that she's not coming amongst the congregation to possibly, you know, spread sickness and all of that stuff. All right. Go ahead. Also, my bad.
I was going to say she could sleep on the floor.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to, you know,
Nah, nah, brothers, don't make your ribs sleep on the floor, man. It's not. It's the whole spirit of trying to practice these righteous acts that Lord sees. But me and my rib in my household, you know, we fortunate to have a separate bedroom to where, you know, when it is that time, she sleeps in that bedroom and I sleep in my bedroom.
Right.
Like I was a thought y'all said, if you got it like that, then no more sign Christ, but don't be over righteous, like, you know what I'm saying, making your ribs sleep on the floor, all that other stuff.
Right, God, the brother's exactly right. Get a brother a hand. You know what I mean? Like it's the spirit behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like now, what we reading about is something that we did because you know they didn't have the same products of today, so they had another, and we had rulership. We had bread too, right? You know, speaking on the topic, you know what I'm saying? We had bread, so of course we can afford a separate room. We can do that. We can do this separate bed. You know, the maid servant will fall in while she's on her cycle, and she will cook up while she just chill for 7 days and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But for now, you know, we in one room apartments, shacked up with 20 youths running around. Somebody got to feed them youths. You get what I'm saying? It's just that she can't come to class with you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? She can't come to class with you. She can't come to the high holy days with you. She can't come to the Sabbath with you as well, too, right? And Itazab asks, Shalom Yabashukata, got outside Itazab on here. You asked, what about food drives?
Yeah, about some Yashabita.
Oh, sorry, Christ. Food drives, I'll say, you know, depends, right? It depends, really. It depends. Mm, I think I'll say this, right? This is what I would say, right? Like if you're doing the food drive where you gotta teach the next day, you gotta do class the following day, or you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do something priestly on the following day, then she should be, quarantined and not come around. You dig what I'm saying? Like this is more so for the priest is not is not being stripped away from their duties as priests, right? They're still allowed to do what they're able to do because they're not unclean. You get what I'm saying? Is when she comes around, right? Those priests that's around her will be unclean for a day. You get what I'm saying? And now, let's say you got class tomorrow, you can't really teach class. So let's say you got class later on today, you can't really teach it. You can't even get inside the school because you're unclean. You know what I'm saying? You're unclean because, she came around. You know what I'm saying? You have to take a shower. After you take a shower, let 24 hours pass, and then you'll be able to rock it out. You get what I'm saying? So food drives, I say it's to wild. Unless you have priestly duties that you're going to do in the following day or later on that day. You get what I'm saying?
Concert. And it, the food drive is at the school.
Oh, the food drive is at the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the food drive at the school, then yeah, I want to risk it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure y'all be running in and out the school to grab supplies, grab this, do all of that. You get what I'm saying? Like I want to run the risk.
But
at
okay,
the
so
you got
if
it.
I may, right? So all right, so if I could, right, like when we do it, it's usually like, all right, let's say we have class the next day, but the sun is down before class starts. You did so if a sister was in the school unclean, not saying that she's gonna be, but if it was that case and she touched something or whatever the case may be, that thing she touched is unclean until sundown, correct?
Right, correct. Till sundown. Right.
Okay. So yeah.
Right. If I could too, Jaheim, if you can look up like how long does it take for bacteria to die or something like that?
Like it said, how long it take for what?
For it to die off.
For what?
Right?
Cycle?
Bacteria. Yeah, bacteria. Right? Bacteria in general. You get what I'm saying? So if she, touches something and that, that belongs in the school, bacteria don't live longer than, if I'm not mistaken, than 24 hours in most cases, depending on the bacteria. Right? 48 hours, 24 hours, depending on the bacteria, it can be gone in a few hours. You get what I'm saying? But allowing that time period for it to die off is what the Lord is trying to get to the point at, right? That quarantine process. You get what I'm saying? It's not only that you take a shower and you can go back to the school, right? You got to take a shower and wait until the next, you get what I'm saying? The next sundown. You get what I'm saying? So that way you took that shower and you're giving time for that bacteria to die after you sanitize your body. You get what I'm saying? You get me? Right. So when she comes around and you're doing it at the school and you got to teach later on that day, I would not run the risk. Now she can come and pull up, right? Post up outside, handle the business outside. You get what I'm saying? And talk to the folks, I guess, right? But anything that you're handling and running back and forth inside of the school, right? Don't even run the risk. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to make you unclean, right? It's going to make you unclean to where you got to take a shower or wait 24 hours before you can get back on your priestly duty.
So would it be best just to not have a sister at the school at all?
When she's on her period inside the school?
Yeah, like not have her come around at all.
I would say that, yeah. I would say that if she's on her cycle. Now, like I mentioned, the stipulation is you got duty to do, right? Let's say you ain't got nothing to do that day. That's all it is all about, right? You got nothing to do. It's not a sin that she comes around. It's just making sure we don't pass around bacteria. Let's say you got nothing to do after that food drive. You good to go. You dig what I'm saying? Have her come around. Have her help out and do what she got to do and put in her brick and helping out. You know what I'm saying? And big up to Offside Zab and everybody in South Florida. You know what I'm
Most
saying? With
time
that
correct.
food drive, man. Y'all doing an excellent job. And all the sisters I be seeing helping out also. You know what I'm saying? So when she come through, you got nothing else to do on that day, right? You know you're not teaching class the following day. You know what I mean? Or it won't interfere with the time frame of you starting class the following day. Man, have her come through. You know what I'm saying? Have her help out. Right? The whole purpose is so that you're not passing around germs while you're doing your priestly duty. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right? So that's the only circumstance what I'll say that it's fine. You know what I mean? Have her come through. If you got nothing else to do that day.
If I
Right?
could,
Go ahead.
was about to say, to double back on what you were saying
Mm-hmm.
about, the cleanliness and how it's a black book. You know what I'm saying? Like that's heavy. That's a heavy point because they think that the Bible is about your oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
But how many of y'all know oppressors to be clean and wash and shower for everything, every single second? I've heard a story where they said they'll shampoo their hair and just when they run the water on their head to let the shampoo fall
God.
down, that's what cleans their body.
I
And
heard
they say
that
they do
too.
that like they only do that every so often. It's not every day. This is an every so
Man,
often shower. Yeah, these ain't the people. We not them.
nah, not at all, man. They don't even use a wash rag at that.
Right. If they use a
Facts.
wash rag, they don't use soap.
You know what I'm saying? Bless you came from that, right? Yeah, y'all know the saying of bless you, right? When you sneeze, people say bless you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, most people would say it's because your heart stops for 1 second or something like that. How many of y'all
Mm-hmm.
heard that before? Right?
I heard a
Which
few
is
Come,
stories.
come.
which is BS, right? Because your heart is not constantly pounding every second, hour, minute of each day. You get what I'm saying? It beats. You know what I'm saying? It beats. You know what I'm saying? It gets, boom, it beats again, beats just like any other normal heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? But it came behind the origin of it is from the Black Plague, right?
Mm-hmm.
During that time period, right? When people were getting sick, you know how the Black Plague uh, started to form in Europe because people was not sanitary. People didn't shower. People didn't clean. You get what I'm saying? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
how disgusting these Europeans are, right?
Hmm.
And it was so bad to the point where people was dying by the thousands during that time period. And anybody that sneezed, they'll say bless you, right? Because that sneeze was a sign that they may have the plague. They might not be here too long, right? Because they don't know how to quarantine themselves and separate themselves when they're having their cycle, when they're sick, when they're, blood, or when they finish having sex and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bible is spot on, right on point. You know what I mean? So let me just read this question real quick. What the sister asked. She said, "What about cookouts and events that happens around Passover? Can she attend those things while she is on it?" What I would say is, that's good. Because the Passover, let's say you have an event before the Passover, she gonna run the risk to get everybody unclean, and nobody can come to the Passover the next day. You get what I'm saying? Now, of course, she can be around with the sisters in the hotel. She's sipping, she cooling, and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the point, right, the day prior of the Passover, right, she it's better that you stay quarantined, right? So that way you don't run the risk of getting somebody unclean to where they're off their priestly duties for the Passover night. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Come, come.
Right. So those events, like the Passover events, I'll say play it safe. Play it safe, right? Get yourself a good bottle of what they be drinking, Stella Roos. You know what I mean? Get you a good bottle of Stella Roos. You know what I mean? Hang out a little bit, sip up. You know what I mean? And just rock it out, man. So that way you don't run the risk of somebody becoming unclean, and then the next day Passover comes and nobody's invited. You get what I'm saying? So just make sure you just play it safe. We're rehearsing these righteous acts, so that way, we can get back in rulership. You know what I mean? So I hope that answered your question, sis. Is there any more in the verse,
Right.
Lou? Go ahead.
Um, Con 1 Con verse 22, and whoever verse 22, and whoever touches anything that she set upon.
Mm-hmm. If I may, my fault, Itazal, you want to, my bad, Lou, my bad, Lou. You want to say something, Itazal? You said Salaki.
I was gonna shortly read an article, but it could wait until after Lewis.
Okay, all right, you got it, Lou.
Con verse 22, and whoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and shall be unclean until the even.
Until what?
Until the even.
Until the following day when the sun goes down, right? Or even if it may be the same day, right? Make sure that you take a shower, and by the time that sun goes down, it starts a new day, right? But you are to be quarantined throughout that time period. If the sun is not down, make sure you quarantine yourself until the sun goes down. That's when you considered clean and can come around the congregation. So when it comes to Passover time, right? She in her cycle unclean for 7 days, right? You want to come and hang out. I understand. It's the how holy day you come around. It's the black party. We hanging out, drinking. Tomorrow, Passover. Guess what, man? Now everybody is unclean and we all sinned against the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So just to run the risk, quarantine yourself, right? Fall back a little bit. You're not evil. You're not wicked. We don't look at you as like the Mormons look at us with black skin. You're just, unsanitary at this point. So let's make sure we don't create a further problem. All right. What you had outside, Tazar?
Kind of, sir. I'm gonna share my screen if it's all right.
All right, you got it, word.
Okay.
If I could, can I get a time check as well too?
It's 8:50, sir.
Okay. All right, you got it, word.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
I got it.
Okay. Yeah, now I do.
All right. This is all right. So this is ChatGPT. I don't know if y'all are familiar with ChatGPT, but you ask ChatGPT a question and it answers it for you. Now my intentions weren't to go straight to ChatGPT, but it does get straight to the point using ChatGPT rather than reading through a long article to give you context. So the question is, why do Afrocentrics claim the Moors taught Europeans how to bathe? Afrocentrics often claim that the Moors, who were a Muslim people of North African and Arab descent. Now, the word Moor just means black. That's what Moors mean. This whole North African and Arab descent, that just means they were Middle Eastern, i.e. the Israelites taught Europeans how to bathe during the Middle Ages. This claim is based on the historical fact that the Moors were known for their advanced knowledge of hygiene and medicine, and that they brought this knowledge with them when they conquered parts of Spain and Portugal. However, it is important to note that the idea that Moors taught Europeans how to bathe is an oversimplification of complex historical process. While it is true that the Moors introduced new ideas about hygiene and medicine to Europe, Europeans had their own traditions of bathing and cleanliness that predated the arrival of the Moors. To put it simply, we taught them how to bathe. Just to put it
Get
simple.
out of here. There you go. Take a bath. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it, right? Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead, you got it, Lou.
So I just two things. I don't know how it is on on your side, but on this side, if you're not smelling good, you'll be shamed for it immediately.
Right.
You'll be shamed.
Yeah.
I really slug. So I remember one day I was in the train, and the one MIT was like, when you hold on to the train, and you gotta stand like this. And the sister, she was, just close to his elbow, and I was standing, right across from her. And the sister just pull out, the sisters be having like little spray cans, for themselves in their bag, and she was just like turning to him and then
Just spraying them.
and told him, yeah, she was like, you must wash, Booty, you must wash.
You gotta wash your funky behind.
God. And it's like what Officer Items I was saying about they had bathing they were bathing, but it was more like slugs like the French, like they bathe like once a week. That's French tradition, just to bathe once a week.
Once
So
a
they had
week.
probably
Ooh.
bathing, but they was probably doing it like once a week, once a month.
Once a month. And listen,
Lucky.
that is somebody said Salaki?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead.
I could read something real quick, sir.
Kind, what you got?
It say, while pilgrims arriving in America resisted bathing. Rather than bathing, early American colonists believed that other practices like regularly changing their undergarments qualify as good hygiene.
Just changing their garments, just changing their clothing was good hygiene to them.
They undergarments, not even their clothing, sir. Not even the clothes that they wear on the outside of their body. Just the drawers.
Look at that. That is filthy. That is a filthy, disgusting people. That is a sure sign to show you that they are not the people of the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should know who the people of the book or who this referring to. Talking about black people, man. The cleanest, most sanitary, most nice smelling people on the earth. You know what I mean? Everybody else, man, I wish them the best. Just don't come around me with that smell. All right, so yeah.
If I could too, sir.
Go ahead,
Lewis. Like what Lewis said. Lewis, imagine going to a place and having to just like what would make someone teach the people how to bathe? Them stinking. Like that's the only thing I could think of for a reason to have to teach somebody how to teach them new hygiene tricks. Like you get there and you just holding your nose the whole time because it's like, hey bro, let me show you something real quick. Let me show you a trick or two. You smell that? You know that smell that you give off? Yeah, there's a trick for that. It's called bathing.
That is so real, dude. I'm sure they probably had a whole meeting about it. You know what I mean? Everybody got together and was like, nigga, what we gonna do about these damn white people, man? They smell like shit.
Go ahead. They, unlike the Wampanoag, these Europeans didn't bathe regularly. A surviving member named Tisquantum or Squanto even tried and failed to convince them to start washing themselves.
Tried and failed. Damn, man. He failed. I mean, damn, how do you feel like that? They must have really not wanted to take a bath, man. It was like, hell nah. Go ahead.
And to say not even the least, but one of the Romans' custom was to gargle urine because it made their teeth white.
Good night.
Good night,
I
man.
ain't have to know that one.
Yeah, man. You know
You
what I
can
mean?
look it up.
Imagine,
You can look it up. And that's what they
imagine
said. Whoever had the whitest teeth know who gargled the most.
Ooh, imagine clocking in for that year Roman early in the morning
Oh,
without
it's
any.
the lucky.
Go ahead.
It's the lucky. I ain't mean to cut you off, sir.
Nah, you got it. You got it.
That was another thing that the Moors contribute. If you do more research and just asking Chat GPT, you'll find out that they taught them mathematics, science, algebra, um, you know, including how to bathe, how to brush your teeth. You know what I'm saying? All these things. They taught them all of that stuff. Like Chat GPT, some of these sources are slightly biased, you know what I'm saying? Or sometimes they'll use different sources to come up with a conclusion. Sometimes those sources don't are contradictory, so they gotta form it in a way where it supports all stances. But
Okay.
yeah, but no, they taught them math, science, all of that stuff, and how to brush your teeth.
Look at that. You know what I mean? Like you can't tell me we're not God's children. We taught them common, decent human necessities. You know what I mean? Like, and they try to claim to us as if we're uncivilized. Right? Don't look at our current circumstance and think that we are not the greatest people on this earth, black man. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to being unclean and clean in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and in the New, you know what I mean? This is what it's talking about. It's just talking about quarantining yourself so you can maintain the sanitary levels amongst Israel. You know what I'm saying? So we still practice that till this day, right? Till this day, when you're done having sex, take a bath, right? Now, having sex is not a sin. Where you think babies come from, right? But at least, the least you can do is take a shower. You know what I'm saying? Be clean. You know what I mean? Take a shower. So that way, when the sun go down, you can come around. You can come around. You know what I mean? When she's on a cycle, you know what I'm saying? Give yourself 7 days. Take a bath. Come around. You know what I'm saying? That's all it's all about. It's not spooky, y'all. That's all. All right. With that, man, I don't know. I don't think we got enough time, right?
8:59, sir.
With that, man, big up, outside to Zod, also Kanat, young man Lou, young man Jaheim, everybody in the chat, the water for hopping on. Yeah, what we got going on? All right, Zod, you want to let them know?
You already know. War as usual. It's Tuesday night, which is tonight, and it will start at 9:30. You know what I'm saying? If you want to come over and join us in the conversation, you know what I'm saying? The YouTube will be going live in about 30 minutes. You just click the StreamYard link if you want to jump in. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. Yeah, I believe we're going to talk about the Will Smith situation, him and Wayne Martin, as well as the P. Diddy situation with his allegations. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting conversation. It's something every week, man.
Yeah, it's going
We
down.
guest
War as
appearances,
usual.
Officer Canard.
There you go. Come on through, man. Everybody's invited. Everybody welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification button. Same thing with this channel, ISUPK Florida. Subscribe. Hit the notification button and share. Make sure you share on all social media platforms. Share this joint so we can spread this truth, y'all. So with that, anything else y'all want to add? Shalom. Go ahead,
Why
Lou.
not?
He said
just
he
want to
asked if
say
you
the
want to
white man
ask
is
him.
evil.
You said
There
what?
you go. Yeah, you can't say that though. To be politically correct, you got to say abad adawam.
What were you about to say?
Look,
He's about to
like this.
say
I just wanted to say that.
TWMID. ITD.
Oh, okay. I know what that is. Now
Can
go
we
ahead,
say
Lou.
pale face?
Yeah.
You said who?
Pale
Who you
face.
say?
Pale
Pale face?
face.
Oh, that's too derogatory.
Man.
Sound like a bigot, Lou. I don't know.
Yeah, you sound like a bigot.
Nah, I'm playing. Listen, say whatever the hell you want to say. Just know it's not gonna be on the internet. That's all. That's all. Just say whatever. I don't care what you say. Just know it's not gonna be on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with that, man, shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, shalom.